Why do so many people wake up at exactly 5 while you hit snooze twice? You probably think it is pure discipline, but the real reason is stranger than that. Something happens inside the brain at that hour that changes how the whole day feels. Stick around, because the hidden truth about early risers is not what most people expect. There is a secret inside your biology deciding whether 5 a.m. feels easy today. Society says waking at 5 means you are strict, boring, and no fun at all. But psychology says something very different, and it starts deep inside your own nervous system. In 2019, a Stanford study tracked the sleep patterns of 600 adults. Early risers were not more disciplined. They simply had a different, unique internal clock setting. Picture a woman named Sarah, 34 years, her alarm buzzing at 4:55. She is not forcing herself awake. Her body already feels ready before the sound starts. Researchers call this a phase advance, a totally normal shift inside her natural circadian rhythm. Around 15% of adults naturally lean this way, according to sleep scientists worldwide today. Now picture James, a true night owl forced into a 5 a.m. factory shift. His body fights every single morning, releasing stress hormones instead of calm, steady daily energy. This proves something important. Early rising is not a virtue that everyone can simply choose. Wait, that is insane. Some people are biologically wired for mornings before they are born. Scientists call this a chronotype, and it is partly written directly into your genetic code. So why do so many CEOs brag about their 5 a.m. wake-up calls? Tim Cook wakes at 3:45, while Apple earns over $300 billion yearly. But correlation is not causation. Plenty of billionaires sleep in late and still succeed hugely. Jeff Bezos once said he prefers 8 hours of sleep over one early alarm clock. The 5 a.m. myth became popular because mornings feel quiet, controlled, and deeply productive. There are no emails yet, no meetings yet, just silence and your own private thoughts. That silence quietly tricks your brain into feeling powerful, like you are ahead of everyone. Picture a college student named Mia, waking at 5 before her hardest chemistry final exam. She is not smarter than her classmates. She removed distractions during her weakest willpower hours. Willpower is highest right after waking, before decision fatigue slowly drains it across the day. This is the hidden strength nobody explains. Mornings protect you from your own tired brain. Picture Benjamin Franklin, waking near 5, asking himself one question: what good shall I do? That single habit became a branding tool, repeated in speeches for over 200 years. Margaret Thatcher reportedly slept 4 hours nightly, waking near 5 to prepare government policy papers. But sleep researchers warned her routine likely damaged memory, mood, and long-term decision quality. Picture a monk named Thomas, waking at 4:30 for silent prayer inside a monastery. For him, early waking is not hustle culture, it is centuries spiritual discipline and meaning. Compare that to a startup founder waking at 5 to appear driven on social media. Same clock time, wildly different motivation, and motivation quietly shapes whether the habit actually lasts. A 2022 Duke University study found purpose-driven wakers reported higher life satisfaction. Fear-driven wakers reported constant fatigue, even after sleeping the exact same number of hours. Wait, that is insane. Your reason for waking early matters more than the wake time. Picture a farmer named Robert in 1952, waking at 5 before sunrise daily. His body adapted over the decades, guided by daylight, animals, and simple seasonal farm routines. Modern early risers often lack that natural rhythm, relying instead on alarms and pure willpower. This mismatch between ancient rhythms and modern schedules creates hidden stress most people never notice. A Journal of Sleep research paper found artificial light exposure delays melatonin release by hours. That means many 5 a.m. risers are fighting their light-exposed, delayed internal clock. Picture a soldier named Marcus, trained to wake at 4:55 during military training. His body eventually adapted, but researchers found recruits showed higher anxiety scores during early months. Adaptation is possible, but it often comes with a real, measurable psychological and physical cost. So 5 a.m. hustle culture ignores one key detail: adaptation never truly equals ease. Wait, that is insane. Some early risers borrow energy from tomorrow to fund today's productivity. This is called sleep debt, and it silently accumulates like unpaid interest on a loan. A 2019 study found sleep debt reduced reaction time as much as alcohol impairment. Picture an office worker named Vanessa, proud of her 5 gym routine daily. 6 months later, she quietly burned out, unaware her sleep debt had been steadily building. Her story is common. Early rising without proper rest borrows much of tomorrow's energy today. Meanwhile, a teacher named Charlotte woke at 5, but protected her 9 p.m. bedtime. She thrived for years, proving the wake time matters far less than total nightly sleep. This is the core secret hustle culture conveniently forgets. Sleep duration outweighs wake-up time. A National Sleep Foundation report recommends 7 to 9 hours nightly for most healthy adults. Waking at 5 with only 5 hours sleep is not discipline, it is self-sabotage. Picture an entrepreneur named Bella, waking at 5 after only 4 hours of restless sleep. Her decision-making quality dropped noticeably later, according to her own quarterly business performance reports. Meanwhile, competitors sleeping 8 hours and waking at 7 consistently made sharper, faster business decisions. Wait, that is insane. Sleep-deprived brains show impaired judgment identical to being legally drunk. So waking early only helps if it comes paired with enough total nightly sleep hours. Picture an athlete named Harper, waking at 5, but sleeping a strict 8 hours nightly. Her coach credited consistent sleep, not the wake time, for her record-breaking performance season. This pattern repeats across elite athletes. Consistent sleep quality predicts performance better than wake time. A 2021 Sleep Foundation review confirmed sleep consistency matters more than any hour. So why does 5 a.m. still dominate productivity culture, despite this mountain of evidence? Because 5 a.m. feels rare, exclusive, and instantly signals effort to everyone watching online. It is partly a status symbol now, much like expensive watches or oversized business titles. Picture an influencer named Natalia, filming herself waking at 5 purely for engagement and views. Off camera, she naps twice daily, quietly borrowing back the sleep she publicly gave up. This does not make her fraudulent, it just reveals how performative 5 a.m. became. Wait, that is insane. An entire industry sells 5 a.m. journals, alarms, and courses. Estimates suggest the productivity and morning routine industry generates over $1 billion annually worldwide. None of that guarantees your personal chronotype, stress levels, or sleep needs magically match theirs. Real change starts with tracking your natural wake time during a relaxed, alarm-free week. That single week often reveals more truth than any 5 a.m. influencer video could. Picture a teenager named Emma, forced to wake at 5:30 for early school buses. Her brain naturally wants to sleep until 9, because teenage circadian rhythms shift later biologically. A 2014 pediatric study linked early school start times to lower grades and mood. Wait, that is insane. Some school districts shifted start times and saw grades improve fast. So forcing 5 a.m. into a teenager is not discipline, it fights brain development. Chronotypes also shift with age, and older adults naturally drift toward earlier, lighter morning waking. Picture a retired teacher named Grace, waking naturally at 5 without any alarm or effort. Her body simply changed with age, not because she suddenly gained extra willpower or grit. This explains why grandparents rise early while teenagers struggle, and neither one is doing wrong. A twin study from Finland found chronotype heritability estimates ranging between 40 and 50%. That means genetics, not moral character, decides whether 5 a.m. feels natural or brutal. Wait, that is insane. Scientists found specific genes like PER3 linked directly to chronotype. So blaming yourself for struggling with 5 a.m. may be blaming biology, not willpower. There is a term for weekend sleep catch-up, and researchers call it social jet lag. Picture an employee named Olivia, waking at 5 on weekdays, then sleeping until noon weekends. Her body experiences something like crossing multiple time zones without ever leaving her own city. A 2017 study linked social jet lag to higher rates of obesity and heart disease. So the 5 a.m. grind followed by weekend crashes may harm long-term health. Blue light from phones also delays melatonin, making natural early waking even harder to sustain. Picture a man named Ethan scrolling phone until midnight, forcing a 5 a.m. alarm. His melatonin release gets pushed later, fighting directly against his forced early wake-up time. Wait, that is insane. Light exposure can delay melatonin release by up to 3 hours. This means many failed 5 a.m. attempts are phone habits, not weak character flaws. Compare Napoleon, who reportedly slept 4 hours nightly, with Einstein, who slept nearly 10 hours. Both were brilliant, proving there is no single universal formula for genius or peak performance. Picture a Navy SEAL named Cole, trained to function on minimal sleep during brutal missions. Even elite training cannot always fully erase the biological cost of chronic, severe sleep restriction. A naval postgraduate study found sleep-deprived SEAL candidates showed measurable drops in decision accuracy. So even the toughest humans on Earth are not immune to basic biological sleep needs. This is not about willpower, it is about respecting a system spanning millions of years. Picture a nurse named Zoe, working night shifts, whose body clock never synced with sunlight. Her hospital later adjusted her schedule, and her anxiety and fatigue dropped significantly within months. Small schedule changes, aligned with biology, often outperform forcing extreme discipline against your own nature. Wait, that is insane. Some companies let employees choose start times based on personal chronotype. A 2021 workplace study found flexible start times boosted productivity and lower burnout. This suggests the future of productivity may not be 5 a.m., but flexible scheduling. Picture a writer named Ava, discovering her most creative ideas actually arrive late at night. She stopped forcing mornings, and her writing output quietly doubled within just a few months. Her story challenges the 5 a.m. narrative sold across countless productivity videos online today. So maybe the goal was never waking at 5, but understanding your own natural rhythm. If you are a night owl, forcing mornings may quietly work against your natural strengths. If you are a morning lark, ignoring that gift may waste your most productive hours. The real skill is matching your hardest tasks to your body's natural peak alertness window. Picture an accountant named Lily, scheduling her hardest tax work during her early morning peak. She finishes faster, with fewer errors, by working with her biology instead of against it. This single shift saved her firm measurable hours during their busiest annual tax season deadline. Wait, that is insane. Working against your chronotype can reduce cognitive performance by 20%. So 5M might be genius for one person and self-harm for another. There is no universal winning formula, only a personal one hiding inside your own biology. Picture yourself 1 week from now, tracking your natural wake time without any alarm clock. That data, not a stranger's morning routine video, should decide your own actual daily schedule. Real self-improvement starts with honest data, not borrowed habits copied from someone else's life. Try this simple test tonight, skip your alarm, and notice when your body wakes naturally. Do this for 1 full week, away from weekend chaos, screens, or heavy caffeine intake. Write down each wake time, then look for a repeating pattern across those 7 days. That repeating number is closer to your chronotype than any influencer's 5 a.m. claim. If your natural time is 6:30, forcing 5 mm fights your biology daily. If your natural time is 4:45, sleeping until 7 wastes your sharpest hours. Picture a designer named Chloe, discovering her true natural wake time was 6:15 exactly. She stopped forcing 5 mm, and her creative output actually improved within 2 weeks. Small alignment even beats brutal discipline, because working with biology costs far less daily energy. Wait, that is insane. Misaligned sleep schedules can shorten lifespan according to several large studies. A 2019 study linked very severe circadian misalignment to higher long-term mortality risk. That single fact alone should make you question any one-size-fits-all morning routine. So the 5 a.m. obsession may be solving the wrong problem for most viewers. The real problem is rarely wake time. It is inconsistent sleep and constant screen exposure. Fix those 2 things first, and your ideal wake time almost always reveals itself naturally. This reframe matters, because chasing the wrong fix wastes years of frustrated, failed morning attempts. But here's the twist. Early rising can also hide a darker psychological pattern sometimes. Some people wake early because anxiety wakes them, not because motivation gently pulls them upward. Cortisol spikes too early can cause 4 mm waking filled with racing, worried thoughts. A 2021 Harvard study linked early anxious waking to a higher depression risk. So waking at 5 is not always inspiring. Sometimes it is a warning sign instead. Picture a man named David, 42, waking at 5 feeling exhausted instead of energized. He thought he was productive, but his nervous system was stuck in constant alert mode. This is the dark side nobody puts in motivational posts or glossy morning routine videos. Picture a mother named Isabella, waking at 5 from pure exhaustion, not motivation or purpose. Her toddler wakes her early anyway, and she mistook forced exhaustion for admirable personal discipline. This happens more than people admit. Real-life circumstances often masquerade as chosen productivity habits. Wait, that is insane. Chronic sleep loss can weaken immune response within just 1 week. A 2015 study found sleep-deprived adults caught colds nearly 3 times more often. So the badge of 5am pride can quietly cost you actual physical health. None of this means early rising is bad. Context and consistency simply decide the outcome. The same clock time can heal one person and quietly harm another, depending on cause. That single distinction is the whole hidden psychology behind every 5am success story. Waking early only helps if your body chooses it, not if fear forces you awake. Forcing an unnatural wake time can wreck memory, mood, and even long-term heart health. A 2020 study found forced early risers had 30% higher stress hormone levels. Think about a nurse named Harper, working rotating shifts, forced to wake at 5 constantly. Her doctor found her cortisol pattern looked identical to someone under chronic, unresolved daily stress. Meanwhile, a baker named Marcus wakes at 5 naturally and feels calm, focused, and happy. Same wake time, opposite inner experience, because one body chose it and one did not. This single difference explains why generic advice like just wake up early often fails people. In 2018, a survey found 60% of 5am routines collapsed. People quit not from simple laziness, but because they ignored their own natural chronotype completely. A University of Michigan study found chronotype is roughly 40% determined by genetics alone. That means some of you were never built for a strict 5am life. And that is not a personal failure, it is basic human biology working as designed. So the real question is not what time you wake, but why you wake then. Are you rising toward a calm goal, or running from a restless, anxious feeling instead? Picture a founder named Natalia, waking at 5 during her hardest, most stressful funding round. She used those hours to plan calmly, not to escape panic racing through her mind. That is the version of early rising, purpose pulling you forward, not fear pushing you. Compare that to a student named Bella, waking at 5 from constant academic panic attacks. Same behavior on the surface, completely different psychology hiding very quietly underneath each single morning. Validate this for yourself. If 5am feels calm and clear, your body agrees. If it feels like dread and heavy eyelids, you might be fighting your own biology. Ask yourself honestly tonight, is this schedule serving me, or am I just performing discipline? The uncomfortable truth is this: some of the most driven people are running on empty. Wait, that is insane. Chronic early waking without rest can shrink certain brain regions slowly. A 2017 imaging study found reduced hippocampal volume in severely sleep-deprived early risers. That region controls memory, meaning forced 5am living can shrink your recall ability. So before you copy a billionaire's schedule, ask whether your own body actually wants this. Genetics loads the gun, but your daily choices and stress levels quietly pull the trigger. If your 5am alarm feels like punishment, that feeling is information, not weakness. Listen to it, adjust your bedtime, and stop chasing a schedule built for someone else. If this surprised you, subscribe now so you never miss the next hidden psychology truth. Next time we reveal why night owls often outperform early risers in creative thinking tasks. Waking early will not automatically fix your life, understanding why you wake up just might.